Hello boys and girls, this is Mr. So. Welcome back for another lesson of biology. Today we are going through lesson 42 of chapter 15, auxins. Before you start watching the video, remember to like and subscribe my channel and also share the video to your classmates. Let's start. In chapter 15, we talk about detecting and responding. In plants also can detect stimulus such as the light, the water, and gravity. However, the response given by the plants can be very slow, and the response usually involves the growth of certain part of the plants towards or away from the stimulus. In this chapter, we're going to focus on how the plants respond to light. When the plant shows a directional growth in a part of a plant in response to a stimulus such as a unilateral light coming from a single direction, 单向光, we call this directional movement, which can either be moving towards or away from the unilateral light, phototropism, 向光性. In the picture below, you can see the light source is in the center, and the plant, they tend to grow towards the light source in the middle. So this is a unilateral light. The plant tends to grow towards the light. Originally, the light comes from the right-hand side, but later on, when the light switched to the left-hand side, the plants, they move together to the left-hand side. When the plants, they grow, they tend to move towards the light source. So we call the light source in this case the unilateral light, 单向光. Right now, I'm going to show you two more cases, and can you please tell me, are the following cases phototropism or tropism? Let's take a look. Here is a mimosa, 爬草草. When you try to touch it, it tends to close up all the leaves. Is it a tropism? Do you see a directional growth towards or away the stimulus? The answer is no. You don't see directional movement or growth. So this is not a tropism. This is not a phototropism. Case 2. In the picture below, it shows you a Venus flytrap, 捕蝇草. So when there is an insect moving around in the body of the Venus flytrap closes and traps the insects. Is this a directional growth towards the stimulus? Again, this is not a directional growth towards or away from the stimulus. So this is again not a tropism, not a phototropism. When there is unilateral light shining on the plant, the shoot and the root respond differently. For the shoot, you can see it grow towards the unilateral light, while for the root, they respond differently by growing away from the unilateral light. Since the shoot grows towards the unilateral light, we call this positive phototropism. While on the other hand, for the root, it grows away from the unilateral light. Therefore, we call this negative phototropism. Now the question is, why the shoot grows towards the light, while for the root grow away from the unilateral light? This is because for the leaf, they have to get the maximum amount of light. Therefore, they grow towards the unilateral light. On the other hand, for the root, they would like to anchor, 穩固, the soil. Therefore, they tend to grow away from the light and grow deep down into the soil for better attachment and anchorage to the soil. In the following pictures, there are two setups. In setup A, there are two plants growing in the black box. On the right, there is unilateral light. Can you make a guess what happens to the plant after receiving the unilateral light from the right? After a few days, the shoot should grow towards the right, towards the unilateral light. And this is showing the positive phototropism. In setup B, we use the two plants again, but this time, we put it in a black box, and under the beaker, we can see a clinostat. claim notes that it is a device which helps to rotate the plant in 360 degree 旋转. So after the rotation, every part of the plant is going to receive the unilateral light from the right. Every part of the plant, every part of the cells is going to receive the light on the right. Can you guess what happens to the growth of the shoot after a few days? And this is the result. The shoot instead of B, when they are rotating in the black box, they grow vertically upward, but not towards the unilateral light. Do you know why? Why would the plant instead of B grow vertically upward, but not towards the light? This is because the claim knows that it rotates the plant so that all directions of the plant can receive the light evenly, 平均地. This helps to cancel out or remove the effect of unilateral light, 單向光. So if there is no effect of unilateral light, the plant is just like growing in an environment full of light shining from everywhere. It is just going to move up vertically so as to get the maximum amount of light from the top. Let's take a look at the mechanism, 機制 of how the phototropic response occurs in the root and the shoot. Let's take a look at the shoot first. The shoot tip is going to produce auxins, which is a plant hormone. For the root tip, it's also going to produce the auxin, which is a plant hormone. What is auxin? Auxin is actually a plant hormone which promotes the growth and cell elongation. When there is unilateral light, the auxin is going to move away from the illuminated side or the bright side to the shaded side. After the movement of auxin from the bright side to the shaded side, now the shaded side, it has a higher concentration of auxin, while on the bright side, it has a lower auxins concentration. Now let's compare. In the shaded side, there is a higher concentration of auxin than the bright side. Let's take a look at the shoot first. And given that higher auxin concentration is going to promote the shoot growth. Now, the shaded side, it has a higher auxins concentration, so it will grow faster than the bright side. This helps the shoot to bend towards the light, the unilateral light. Take a look at the following picture. In the shaded side with less amount of light, there are more auxin, higher auxins concentration. So therefore, the cells, they elongate and become longer and then grow. Now, on the bright side, it has less auxin, so there is less elongation of the cell, less growth of the cell. Since the shaded side, they have more growth than the bright side, therefore, the plants, they tend to bend towards the unilateral light, bend towards the bright side. Let's take a look at the root. And given that higher auxins concentration is going to inhibit the root growth. So therefore, in the shaded side of the root, there is higher auxins concentration. So it will grow slower than the bright side. This helps the root to bend away from the light. Let's take a look at the mechanism of the phototropic response in the shoot and root when there is no unilateral light. Same case as before, the shoot tip and the root tip is going to produce the plant hormone, auxins. When there is light from all different directions, that means there is no unilateral light, there will be an even distribution of auxin on both left and right side of the shoot and root. There is same auxin concentration on both left and right side. Therefore, both sides grow with the same rate. Therefore, the shoot is going to grow straight upwards, while for the root is going to grow straight downwards. The effect of auxin on the growth varies with the concentration of auxin and also the parts of the plant, such as the shoot or the root. The following graph shows you the growth response on the plant shoot or root, whether it is stimulating or inhibiting in different auxins concentration. When the auxins concentration is low, it helps to promote the root growth. When the auxins concentration is high, it helps to promote the shoot growth but inhibit the root growth. If we look at the graph very carefully, the greatest growth of the root occurs at a concentration of 10 to the power negative 4 ppm, while for the greatest growth of shoot occurs in 1 ppm. However, if the concentration of auxin is very high, a very high concentration of auxin is going to inhibit both the growth of shoot and root. At the end, there are different applications of auxin. Auxins can be used as selective herbicide. It can help to form seedless fruit or helping the adventitious root development. That is the end about the lesson of auxin. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.